Hey, good morning, folks. We're starting a little late today, but we're going to run a little long today. So give me a second here. I need to check in on my signal, do the social media post, and do the things. So once I've gotten, that'll take like maybe a minute. So if you want to skip ahead a minute, I'll catch up with you guys on the other side. But my name is Phil Kearney. Hi. I create role-playing games. I illustrate them. I publish them online. We're creating content for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition using the new 2024 rules. The book cover that you can see here on screen, this is Crystals of Mabar. It's for characters 7th and 8th level. We're fighting undead demons and necromancers in the Carnwood Forest of Karnath in the continent of Corvair. Let's see. I'm trying to get this thing to click through for me. Come on, dude. I'm having a rough start today. So, forgive me for that. A rough start today. Oh my god, that's so clear. Okay, cool. So, my sound sounds really good. I'm happy about that. Grab that up here. I have the link. Social media posts. Just like 3 social media posts to do. 1 is done, 2 is coming through, and number 3 is done, and now we can get to work. So let me clear the socials out of the way here. Let's grab our screen here and fix our arrangements. There we go. And whoop. So let's get rid of the book cover here. So this is the interior artwork that we're doing right now. This is that 16:9 format that we use. Once you have the PDF on your device, whether it's a phone, tablet, or a widescreen monitor, it fits the 16:9 format, and each column is also 16:9. This is a map of the village after being attacked by undead, so we see bloody footprints all over the place leading the characters from location to location. And we have this little corner snippet here that we had as a blank space that was large enough to drop an illustration into, so we're dropping an illustration into it. So I'm going to continue with that process. Let's drop that down here. I stream Monday through Fridays in the morning. I do game design on Mondays and Thursday nights, including tonight, as well as Saturday morning. And we do playtesting for the different stuff that I'm building on my Discord, which is linked down below. Speaking of which, if you think this stuff is cool, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications when we are live in the future. Here's a stack of books that I've created on the DMsGuild already. They all have free previews. They are chock full of my art and ideas. If you think this stuff is cool, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Consider picking up some books if you're a D&D enthusiast, if you think you're going to improve or help the campaigns that you're running. And if anyone ever has any questions, you are welcome to ask here or on my Discord, please. So let's see, where are we at? We have a well that is going to get bloodified. Come on, buddy. What is going on with you? I'm trying to... Oh, you fucking thing. Okay, my my presets got reverted. So hold on. My keybinds are gone. So let me go back to my keyboard shortcuts and let's go pick up 2024. Okay. Good. Okay, there's the smudge. Free transform. There we go. Okay, everything's right in the world again. Let me drop down the size of that well. Get it off center. That feels about right. This is about where we're supposed to be. So let me okay, everything at this point, everything should be under control. Thank you, free transform. Let's give you a bit of a skew. You're just looking a little slanted. There we go. Just had a posture fix there. Let's see. How are we going to do this? Okay, so all the color references we can use on that, we're pulling off of this map here. I think where we're at right now is building construction. So let's get into the buildings. We can blip there. We can blop here. Let's pull back for a second so we can grab wood color. Yeah. This is where we want to be. No, not here. Hold on. Here. Constabulary, wood mill, grist mill, stables, grain silo, storehouse, commons, mayor's office and apartment, and that's it. So, yeah. Okay, so here's where we want to be. Thank you. And this is what we want to be referencing. Okay, so we have stone that is going around, so we can use that. Let's go back to here. So what we want to do is create a stone structure here. So let's take these three things, drop them into a line art layer. There's our line art for now. So we can add this back in and drop its opacity. And now we can drop a layer in here. We have the stone layer. Let's switch to a brick since we're working with structures. This doesn't have to be, and it is not meant to be very complex. But I do need to make sure I have the perspective right. There we go. That feels about right. Cool. We can do there. And then let's go find over here as well. Drop this in. It's very, very simple. It doesn't require any complexity. There we go. We can leave that intact. Let's go. Yeah. This will do. So we can grab this darker color here. And the black. Those will both be useful. Pan back. Grab the darker color. We have a new layer that we're working, so we're going to basically create shadow here. Shadow here. Grab a little plant brush. You can dot along the base here. Open up that space a little bit. This. Building seems a little off proportion over here. We'll build it and then we'll fix it. That's probably the best course. So we have our walls there. Let's take some of this patterning here. It's patterning that we've been using. Zero. Like that. And we can trim you off the top. Very good. And let's make another layer separate. Basically edge down the line. Like that. Then we want a ring around here. The magic of illustration. This is just the language that we're using for stonework in this adventure. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's something that I would want to retain and duplicate in the future. I don't think it's appropriate for every project, but yeah, like that. We want to stilt them. I can probably break across like that. Let's try to make this a little straighter, huh, Kearney? There's a dwarf in town, and if this stonework isn't sufficient, he's just going to be absolutely just irritated with the place all the time. Can't have that. Cannot have that. This is a separate layer so we can play with the light. There we go. And then, yeah, we'll just drop this down here into the ground. That works. Okay, cool. So that's a stone wall. Enjoy. Maybe we reduce the opacity a little bit. Roof here, so that dark is appropriate. Let's get it reinforced here. We can darken up inside. Yeah, okay, so that's a wall. Cheers. We'll go over to this one, and we'll do the same thing. So strap in, folks. I don't have a particular interesting topic of conversation going on today, other than I have the day off. Woo! So what I plan to do is I plan to just work through and finish this illustration this morning with you guys. It's just after 7 a.m. here in Seattle. And I've got a few hours that I can spend on this. My intention is once I finish up morning stream here, I'll take a break, do some house stuff, and then once that's complete, I'll jump on again for a lunchtime stream. And we'll continue converting the most recent UA Mystic subclasses and convert those and into the color magic paradigm. And sorry, I had to check my colors there real quick. Let's bring this down. And then we learned from the other side to just square this off along base. So we'll make striated lines here. Not perfect, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be. It'll feel more real it'll feel more like realistically stacked stones if it's not perfect, despite the dwarf's anger. Like that. Get rid of the U. We'll do that one again. Ugh, no, that's even I can't let that stand. That was really rough. There we go. We go here. We bring this down. We do one here and here and here and here and here, here and here. Again, this is really small on the page. It's not important that we get crazy good with details, but we want enough detail so your eyes can just accept it and move along. And for here, we'll just drop in individual stones like this. That's a little off. Let's do it like that. Yeah, that'll work. Like that, and then there. Perfect. Good enough. This is good enough. There we go. Two structures. We'll color in the interior. I think we can. I want to like quote unquote corrode these a little bit. I think I want to patch up and lighten some areas. So I'm going to use the same brush that we just used, and I need to drop the opacity down to like 20%. But I'm going to just chop at the lighting here, just to break up the uniformity of the rock seams. Thank you. Just to break up the rock seams to create some inconsistency and aging on the structure. And we can come back to it. We can do like a little bit of chunks missing from the wall here and there. That'll feel good. Get inside there, here, work this. Just fatiguing the wall, aging it a little bit. We're taking away the uniformity of depth, which means that the darker stuff that remains will feel stronger. I'm going to merge this down. And now we can start taking chunks out of the wall. So I'm going to hit 0 for 100% opacity and just chew at these corners a little bit. All these brushes I designed over time to perform different functions. That's what custom brushes are for. They're for you to figure out a technique. You take a round brush tool, figure out a technique, and then if you like how that technique looks like bricks, like doing aged brick. If this is a general good look to you for brick, then how do you replicate this pattern more quickly? Make a brush that creates this sort of patterning, which is what I've done. I can use this brush for all sorts of, well, mostly stone of various forms. I can also use it for like mountaintops and snow plains, basically anything that's a really hard organic shape, any kind of, basically any kind of rock, stone, marble, whatever, any kind of stone structure. I can use this brush to help make it more organic and broken feeling. So we're just using the corner tip here to wear away at the edges of the stonework. I guess it's probably more like hardened clay. And now that we have those locked down, we're going to add some dark in here, and let's grab our guitar pick and push it to like 80% strength so I can do things like that. I just want to dot some of these little inflections here. I could probably back that down a little bit. These darker patches here is where I want to have the shadow get implemented. Let's get rid of some of that rough edge. There, I was looking a little frazzled. Our stone can't have saw teeth on it. That's not natural. There, that feels good. Oops, wrong layer. Oh well, let's fuck it. Merge these down. There we go, like that. Trim this down. That feels pretty good. Get some inconsistency in the inconsistency. Just breaking up patterns. It's reducing any kind of repetitiveness to an extent. I want the patterning to exist so that it's recognized as a construction of some sort, but I also don't want it to be so repetitive that you start like paying more attention to the pattern than I want you to. So I want to reduce and de-emphasize the pattern just a smidge here, just to break that up a bit. That feels pretty good. Come around over here, and this already feels pretty good. Just gonna, like I said, break this up a little bit here to reduce those little markings in there, and then we'll create the ceiling. Let's go in here, make sure we don't have any undue razor chop. Clean that up. We'll have this one done today. After that, we have 14 more after this one, and if we only have to spend a day or two on each one, I am very, very close to being done with hyperlinking inside of the book. In fact, if I have any kind of bandwidth, I should have all the text hyperlinked and bookmarked and navigatable inside the document. I should have that done probably before bed tomorrow. And then from there, I start importing the maps, the various maps that we have. Like when we finish it, if you were to click on this building or the two, this would hop you to the page it'll bounce you to this page, the constabulary. This is where that goes to. So if you were to click on number 3, it would bounce you to here, and we're taking the ceiling off. Number 4, there you go. Number 3 is the path entrance. Same entrance, same description. Constabulary, path into the Carnwood. This is a lumber mill. This is a grain mill. This is a blacksmith, stables, commons area, and mayor's office apartment. And then whenever we go to a specific page, we take the lid off, the roof off of the building so you can see the interior. There you go. So and when I click on, when we put this into the document, we'll have a transparency that we overlay on top of the map, but it'll be a hyperlink clicking grid. And hey, how you doing, Fox? It's good to see you. So once we complete this map, or complete all up, I'm like tomorrow or so, I'll have all the text in the Word document properly hyperlinked, and then we'll lay in these maps as our first images that we import into the document. We'll do these invisible overlays inside of the Word document, and these overlays we drop transparent GIF transparent image files. So they're literally just invisible images that you can load into an object box inside of Word and have the object boxes resting on top of the map. So in the end, we'll have a bunch of frack. I lost it. Go back here. We'll have a box. This is very sloppily. We'll have a box here. We'll have a box here. We'll have another box here. I'm supposed to be adding, so there we go. There and there. So when we're done with the map, all of these different buildings will have these invisible hyperlinks around them. So if you click on the building or the number of the map, it will take you to the corresponding page. Bloop, there you go. And you'll see all the ensuing action there. And then down here along the base, this village button here, if you click that, it'll take you back to this page. And then so you can navigate and maneuver around the document by click. Everything's going to lead you to other areas. And then inside the document itself, see optional encounter number 1, undead pack attack. If you click on optional encounter 1, undead pack attack, it will drop you down. It's not on this. It's not on this page. It's on the following pages, but it's beyond this. I have groups of 6 or 7 images to keep my file sizes reasonable, but on theme. So anyway, so this would, if you were inside the PDF, if you were to click homesteads, it'll take you to the homesteads area, and region B, the Carnwood. This will bounce you to there. So, hold on. Region B, the Carnwood, add forest. The Carnwood Forest. If I have space, I want to include the Carnwood Forest because that's the formal title. But that's the document. So I'll get the text. I'll finish the text hyperlinking tonight or tomorrow. By Saturday this weekend, all of the maps should be imported and hyperlinked throughout the document as well. And at that point, all we're really doing is just dropping in images into the background of the text to fill out the PDF. Once all the hyperlinking is done, all the mechanical stuff is finished, then it's just dropping in text and dropping in the images. So when we do that, we'll create an image box in Microsoft Word like this. It'll fill the page. This will be a page-sized object, and then inside that page-sized object, we'll drop the nerf here. This is the object that we're creating right now without any text. This is the image that will be dropped into the background of this page of Word, because all the text that we have here we imported from Microsoft Word. We're then going to export these images and import them into Microsoft Word. Once all pages are stacked in and the hyperlinks work We seal it into a PDF and we put it on market. So this could be done. At this point, the only thing that's stopping production is we have a string of images like this that we're building. So we'll have all the hyperlinks and all the packaging and everything ready to go before we finish this stack of illustrations. So from here on forward, it's basically how many of these illustrations can I get done, how quickly, because on the back end when I'm on camera, I have more time to build out that stuff than I need. Yeah. So we're basically sliding into first. We're sliding into home base with just finishing these illustrations, and once we get all the hyperlinking done, we start integrating all the images. When we finish a page here, we'll just bond it and then drop it into Microsoft Word and go into the next one. So once I get to that point, I'll be doing artwork off screen and on screen once the hyperlinking is done, because artwork is the only thing that's going to be left. So we'll be collapsing time frames here very quickly. I'm okay with and accept not being done for, say, 3 weeks, but we might not need that. So we'll see where we actually end up at the end of all this. But I think we're within like maybe we're probably actually within 2 weeks of having this thing published, and then we're going to do a little bit of a palette cleansing by doing some Bob Ross landscapes. I've been collecting a number of really cool photos of locations around the world, and we're going to use those as references for us to do some fun landscape work. And I've done a few good landscape pictures in this adventure, but landscapes really is where my heart is at. Like, if I was in a different world, I'm doing land art for Magic the Gathering. I don't know if I have a strong enough color theory, and I'm concerned about print proofing. So I mean, Magic the Gathering, I'd love to put in my hat for that, but I can't. I'm not really good at color proofing because I can't see color. So if they need me to adjust colors, like if I have to adjust colors, I can't do it, which makes me afraid to ask. So I'll maybe I'll pitch in for some more. Maybe I'll pitch in and ask and try to get on the roster of doing land art. That would be wonderful, but I wouldn't be able to stream it, which would be sad. But I mean, you take the good, you take the bad, take them both. There you have magic art. Some magic art. I'm gonna do this like that. This doesn't need to be detailed at all. It's an interior of a building. Fuck off. And then we'll put on the roof, and then we'll be done with that, and then we'll add some more bold dark onto this forest back here. Probably drop in some lighting. And then we'll resolve the well. And then this piece will be done. So I think I can get this finished today, and then we can move on to the next bit. I think. We will discover if I can or not. And if I can't, who cares? But we'll be back on later on today. We're going to do a lunch stream converting the new Mystic subclass Unearthed Arcana. We're going to continue converting those into the color mana paradigm. We have a paladin. I think we have a paladin, a rogue, and a warlock to resolve. We already took care of the monk, which was super fun to build. I love integrating the whirlwind attack into extra attacks as an alternate magic action. And that completely works in with the Eldritch Knight nature of warcasting. That doesn't actually work. So the problem with warcasting is if you take the attack action, you can spend 2 attacks to cast a first or second level spell instead of a magic action. But the monk only gets 2 attacks ever. So, but if you bond that trick to like flurry of attacks, you're already spending a key point to use three attacks of flurry of attack at 11th level, and then when you get this Warcaster feature at 17th level, where you can sacrifice 2 attacks to spend a spell slot and cast a 1st or 2nd level spell. The problem with that is I've already spent a point of key to Whirlwind, and now I'm going to remove 2 of the attacks from that Whirlwind. So I'm basically paying a 1st or 2nd level spell slot and a point of key to get a bonus action attack with a spell attached to it. And that feels horrible. So they're kind of in they're in an action economy deficit with this idea. But when we rebuilt the monk for the color mana system and martial powers, we gave them a magic action, which, like at 17th level, the magic, the Whirlwind attack is Steel Wind Strike, the spell. But we deconstructed it so it's 2 targets at 6th level, and then 3 targets at 10, 4 targets at 14, and then 5 targets at 17. Sorry, 5, 9, 13, 17. It's 2, 3, 4, 5 targets. Like with Steel Wind Strike, and every point of mana that you put in, you deal an extra D10 damage. So by 17th level, you put in 5 you put it for 5 key. You hit 5 targets within 30 feet of you. Each of them takes 5 D10 damage, force damage, and that's basically Steel Wind Strike. But like at 17th level, I can spend 2 mana and do 2 D10 damage to everybody, or just 1 mana and do 1 D10 to 5 different targets, make 5 attacks against targets within 30 feet, and each of them will take D10 times the amount of mana that you spend. So, in that sense, that's a core feature that the monk gets with this variant, starting at 6th level. So by 17th level, when you get Warcaster, you have 5 mana that you can spend, and you're a 5th level spellcaster. So you at 17th level, a monk can use 5th level spells with the Mystic Arts, Warrior of the Mystic Arts. It's a half. We converted it into a half casting mod, so you can cast up to 5th level spells. So if I spend 5 mana during a Whirlwind attack and sacrifice all of my attacks and spend 5 mana, I'm basically using the magic action to cast a 5th level spell like I normally could. But with a Whirlwind attack, I only have to spend, the mana I spend is the amount of damage I deal to X amount of targets. If I took the Warcaster idea and, like, say I wanted to cast a 3rd level spell at 17th level, I have 5 targets. I can spend up to 5 mana to cast spells. If I want to cast a 3rd level spell for free, I use Whirlwind attack, spend 3 mana, reduce my targets by 3. 2 targets will take 3d10 damage, and then I also cast a 3rd level spell with that ability. I'm nerfing what I'm doing with my mana on damage and targets, and I'm instead reallocating that mana to casting a spell as a subclass feature at level 17 when you should be doing cool shit. So us rebuilding the monk to have Whirlwind become their integrated attack a whole bunch of times ability, we can now manipulate that to give them to have some place to sack attacks to generate to use mana. So, hey, how you doing, Fernando? I'm ranting about martial powers and the new UAs, and anyway, I was really happy about that, because the largest critique that subclass is getting right now is that the 17th level the 17th level ability doesn't actually it's mechanically invalid. It just doesn't do anything for you. It's a dead feature. It literally just it really just does the same thing you can already do. It's just worded a different way. And that's not really a feature. That's just, that was an embarrassing design choice. And I am not disparaging them that. It's just clearly somebody didn't understand the assignment. And the editor didn't catch it before they sent it out, which means that there's at least two degrees of disconnection inside of WotC's production team with where 5e24 is actually at, and whoever the designers are not having familiarity with that location. So it was really unfortunate to see that, but it's my gain. I'm creating alternates to all this stuff anyway, so I think that's super fun, and what a great opportunity for me. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do with the Paladin and the Rogue and the Warlock. And with any luck, we'll have the time at lunch. I should have a good 2 or 3 hour block of time at lunch today for me to be able to go and finish those off. And then we'll be back on tonight later on to continue working on mapping out the asteroid communities that we have for the Eberron Spelljammer game that we're going to run on my Discord. So I got a whole bunch of goodness lined up for myself, and I am way off the reservation with this piece. So I need to build in there. That's where the something is off. What? Bloody. Oh yeah, Bloody Bell. That's what I was calling it. Okay, so I'm something's mixed up here. I'm in the wrong folder. So I'm going to jump to here. Okay, there's my symbols. There's my dots. There's my map, so I can blip, 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 blip. Blip, 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 blip. Okay, everything's right in the world now. Everything is back to where it's supposed to be. Happy days, except for that's sticking out for some freaking reason. Right, get you out of there, buddy. Okay, now we're on point. Here. Right. Here. This drops down to here. And, okay, everything's right in the world. Sorry. Had to shuffle my shit around. But now that we have, we can establish our vignette border here by smudging out a fade. So we don't have to worry about what's actually going on inside there. So that feels pretty good like that. We're going to disable this for now. Bloop. There. So that doesn't even matter anymore. Just leave that be. In fact, I'm going to merge those down. I'm going to scooch this down just a little bit more again. There we go. And I'm going to have to add some groundwork in here to fill up that base, but that's okay. We'll get there. Once we have the well, actually, we can layer in some groundwork here in front of the buildings before we bring in the well. I think that'd be a good idea. But we also still have to do the roof, so let's not get too far out of ourselves. We're making good progress here. Let's not fuck it up. So drop this down. Let's open this one up. Because you have dropped, so let's drop you down there. Okay, those are in alignment. That feels pretty good. Bop, 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 bop. Bop, 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 bop. Very good. Okay, adding on another layer to create the roof. Let's jump over here and let's just grab a dark color. Just drop in here like that to get our roof going. Trim that off a little bit. Now I don't need the line art for that. And then we'll kick over to here. And we'll do the same thing. Let's go like that. That'd be a good base to start. There, by grace, I go. Break that a bit. Break that a bit. There we go. Work that in. Smudge that out. Smudge that out. And that goes off the edge, so that's fine. Yeah, so far so good, so what? This isn't going to be... This isn't going to be any... None of these are masterpieces. These are just little corner bits. I'm tossing in some color. Bob's your uncle. Separate layer, very good. I feel like I should use a... I feel like I should use a brick here. Let's push that across to there. Then trim that up. And then reduce the size a smidge. And then break it up. Break it up. Here to there. And then break it up. Reduce the size a bit from here to there, then break it up. I feel like that's should be a little bit closer. There we go. And then here to, no, that's too much space. Here to here, that feels good. And trim that up. Trim that there and there. Break that across. There we go. Decent start. We'll want to probably drop the opacity on that some. Take the edge off. A little bit more like that. There we go. Now we can... let's grab these darker bits here and switch back to our roughshod brush. I'm going to thin this down so it doesn't have the same silhouette signature. So we can do that. This is far from my best work, but it doesn't have to be. Again, it's just a little corner bit. Fuck it. It's doing what it's meant to do. It's good enough. Listen to Phil justify shoddy work. And it's not shoddy. It's just like I'm not willing to just absolutely just crush on this for 7-10 hours to get it done. I'll spend 5 hours on it, but I won't spend 7 or 10. That's just unreasonable. Layer this stuff in here like that. Create texture for these tiles. Again, we're just using the same brushes in different ways. It's once you understand, once you have a technique that you like. Oh, we were talking about this earlier. Once you have a technique that you like, you can build the tool. You can build a tool that helps accentuate that style, if that makes sense. I'm going to layer a little bit in here into these gaps just to close those up a smidge. Switch back to this, just dot this on, and then we'll be able to corrode it and erase some to help further break up the patterning once we have this established in here. Get rid of that. Yep. And we'll drop this back down to that 30% we were using to help create some quiet coloring here in the shadow to help break up that dark here underneath these tiles. I want the darker bit here at the roof line where the awning is going to naturally have some shadow. That's appropriate, but I want to lighten the awnings so that they're not as gaudy. So I'm going to back off the color on them a little bit so they fade in. And Bob's your uncle. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is all merged. Wrong button. Merge down, not merge visible. Thank you. We can take this here because this angle feels weird. So I want to give it a bit of a squanch. A skew. Give it a skew. Just a bit of a skew. Cut, paste. There. Now those lines are lining up. Good. Easy enough. Horrible buildings. Don't hate me. This is forest. These are buildings. This is the foreground well. We're not on the well quite yet. I want to integrate the buildings into the environment a little bit better. So now that we have these buildings set up, I can darken the forest to offset this stuff. But I want to drop in some more ground scrub. Yeah, this stuff is too gray. So we're going to take the forest and we're going to start stacking up some more foliage onto it. So here, and let's jump back down into here, and let's grab what's a brush that we want to use. I think we want to use the let's use a foliage texture brush, the OG. We're putting this in a different layer than the one we just used, so it's just going to basically saturate everything here, and then we'll take an eraser and we'll poke through it to create so the under layer that we're now painting over will be able to pop through since these are on separate layers. So we'll dot there in like that, and we'll take an eraser and we'll use the same brush to erase, but like along like this, so we can come along here and break up the tops of these a little bit. And then drop the eraser down to like 30% so that when we erase, it's inconsistent through the bottom into the base here. So it's no longer just a giant splotch of color that we painted over everything. Now you can see it's being used for shadow to poke through stuff, just to add a little bit more depth to the piece. And I think I want to drop in here behind the forest. And grab something like this. Yeah, maybe something like that. Maybe something like that'll work. And when I want to switch up the brush, let's switch to the conifer tree branch here, and we're just going to start layering in some more dark in here, just because. Because I want to break up this light back here. It's a gloomy environment that we're moving into. So I want to get rid of too much bright light in the background. I want it gloomier. But I like this band of color here at the base that's separating this backdrop that I'm dropping in to the tree line and the front foliage. I like that separation. That's really nice. So we'll drop this in here, and I'll probably reduce the opacity on this and then add another layer over it. So let's just keep dotting through here just to break up the light. that, and then we can drop the opacity on that and go through it again. This time we're going to squanch the brush so it's more narrow, and I think we're going to go at it with an angle like this, like a canopy. And then we can use the same eraser to chop away at the base here to create that foliage illusion. Hey guys, how you all doing? Thanks for new folks swinging through and saying hi. Appreciate it. We're just using digital techniques to create an environment. We'll keep dancing across here with this angle. Sometimes just having a uniform slope or angle of a brush stroke creates the illusion of a different type of texture. So you can layer the same sort of technique over itself, layer it over itself again and again. It creates a replicating pattern, but since you're changing the angles, the size, the rotation of things, it feels differently. So you can make the same brush do more work. And I kind of like that. Yeah, I think I'm on board with that. We have this foliage line here, and then we have the buildings. So forest, foliage. We need another brush. We need yeah, there we go. Because I wanna work the ground texture, or rather these back bushes as well. So I'm gonna grab another dark color, like, oh, I don't know. Let's grab something like this. That's too light. Let's go. Yeah, that feels a little bit better. That'll probably work out as a decent brush. So let's flatten this brush a little bit and reduce the size. What happens if I go to 0? We'll just dot this stuff in here like that, and then we'll erase that some of it, so this underpinning stuff that we've been, all this noise that we've created down here, we can reintroduce that. But we're just doing little domes and little shapes here that we're just kind of stippling into existence here. I'm going to get rid of that well for the time being. Don't need that, but here we go. We're just dotting this stuff in. So it creates all this foliage noise that when you back out, it's just shrubbery. And then we're going to use the same brush for our eraser. And we'll drop the eraser down to like 30%, so it's inconsistent with how it's interacting with the brush strokes already on the layer underneath it. But it's the silhouette I'm more interested in, not so much the interior. Not on this layer. We're going to do another layer with a little bit darker color, and then drop that in front of this new foliage layer noise that we made. So we can add, you can already see, like you can see here, there's like this foreground bush here. So I'm going to drop a darker color on that foreground brush to help it further separate from this current shrubbery line that we're building. So it's just a matter of layering, just adding multiple layers on top of each other. Blah. And for that, we definitely want a darker color. I want to use the same brush, but a darker color. I'd like it to have a little bit of a green kick to it, though. So I'm going to add just a little bit of green. The lower saturation, the further back it gets pushed. So this next layer of shrubbery we do, I want to have a little bit more saturation than the line behind it. So here's the line behind it. See how the RGB is there? And then this has a little bit more, oh, there we go. See, that's a little bit more saturated than the back line that we had already done. I'm going to drop that there. Slightly more saturated. So let's add this on at 100% and just dot across here as we had just done. Thank you, Timely Timer. Timely Timer's probably telling me it's 7:20. Oh, God, it's almost 8. Okay, I have like, what, an hour or so? Then I'm going to take a break. I'm going to do some house stuff. And then I'll jump back on. I have a dentist appointment today, which is why I have the day off. Dentist's appointment today is at 3. I have to be on the bus at 2:30 to make sure I get there on time, which means I need to gear up at 2. So if I'm able to be on stream from like say 11 till 2, that'll give me a 3-hour. That'll give me a 3-hour burst for me to resolve the 3 Mystic Arts UA subclasses that we haven't converted to martial powers yet. 3 hours, even with pontification and tangent rambling, I should be able to resolve 3 subclasses in 3 hours. So, and if not, we'll just finish it maybe at lunch tomorrow or something. Who knows? And I'll be gone on Wednesday. It's I have a once a month pilgrimage I take to the home office in downtown Seattle at the marketing firm I work at. So we have a once a month visit that we pay in office to do corporate stuff and like, you know, close your eyes and let your teammates catch you and shit like that. Corpo stuff, you know. It'll be a Corpo Wednesday. And I also have an annual Corpo thing on the following Wednesday. So I'm losing a couple of days this month. But that's okay. It just means that we'll be that much closer to being done when I jump back on again. So close to being done with this thing, man. So close. And once we are done, we're going to do a palette cleanser with some Bob Ross painting, kind of like this, but like a full page, like mountains and rivers and forests and shit and all the happy tree stuff that you expect from Bob Ross. That's we'll be paying homage to that with some landscape illustrations of our own, kind of like this. And we'll do a couple. Maybe we'll do a couple of those just to cleanse our palette. And then by March, we'll begin on the next books. And so I've decided what we're going to do is prioritize the Bastion campaign, and then as our side piece, we're going to start building out the 2024 revisions for the Color Mana Spell Point variant rules. So we'll be doing a lot of mechanical work, like a lot of technical writing and page design, and starting to do layout process in the evenings. And in the mornings, we'll be doing probably like book cover art and another promotional type stuff. There's going to be a block of time where the illustrating that I'm doing, like sometimes it'll be relevant to the books, but until I get the layouts done, I don't know what different illustrations we need for a book. But I can typically illustrate. This book is an exception because it has maps and a shitload of technical stuff beyond just illustration. But I can illustrate a 100-page book in 90 days. That's what I did with Spelljammer. Sorry, in 9 months. I said 90 days. Sorry, times 3. So once I get Bastions and rebuild the martial, I suspect rebuilding the Color Mana books, I can recycle art that I've already used. I don't have to create unique original art for all that stuff. So I think that'll help spare us a little bit. But for the most part, I think I'll be able... I'm going to grab this here and bring in some of these trunks just to help intensify them a little bit. So it'll take months and months and months for me to build those books, but those are the next natural steps. The Bastion campaign, rebuilding the Color Mana Spell Point variant rules. Once the Color Mana books are done, then we can start actually work towards publishing the Martial Powers project. At which point, I mean, we'll have most of 2026 doing playtesting and Discord appreciation campaigns that'll be making use of Spelljammer, Bastion, martial powers if people want to use it, color mana, spell point variant rules. Just all the bells and whistles, all the tools in my toolbox to make unique campaigns we'll be using in the Spelljammer Eberron Bastion campaign. And yeah, we'll just have time spent with stuff, and I'm already really confident about all these things, but it certainly doesn't hurt just to have another look. Well, since I'm building stuff out anyway, to have a chance just to sit with things for a while, and make sure they're where they're supposed to be at, just to help. It's basically Q&A. It's quality assurance at this point. I am pretty damn confident about most of the material in those books. There we go. That feels a little bit better. Okay, cool. We can leave that be. So then let's fold up all this into the new forest. It's not amazing. It's just background. And so now here we can take some of the scrub brush color we have on the ground here, and we can start layering this in. I'm going to use, let's use, stop spinning, thank you. Start using this, just as you can see here, just layering in some ground scrub. It's in front of the building, so we're basically creating the mid-ground space between the back line of the forest line and the ground here, and we'll be adding in this well into the foreground. So we're bridging the space between the background forest and the foreground well, while also helping push back these buildings a little bit and grounding them by getting some foliage built up, or some ground scrub built up in front of these things. And we can use the same eraser and dot away and erase that stuff with like a 20%, something like, around 20% eraser. So we can adding in our own breaks to help add depth. I should probably grab a base color here. I don't know why I didn't think of this, but I should be using this worn ground color as the base of everything. I like to completely just ground everything in underneath here. So let me go ahead and just get that ground into the page. There we go. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. There. It's all in the same fold now. We can go back to our foreground here. And let's drop our opacity back. Actually, yeah, let's drop our opacity down to, like, what was it, 30? There we go. Get some base scrub in here. Hit with a low end eraser. Back it off a little bit. And we'll take the eraser down to 30% so it can melt itself into the background a little bit more without having a hard break. We'll flip it upside down. There we go. Push that back a smidge. I'll stack up. I'm going to grab another darker color for us to start layering. This will help bond the background into the midground the transition color, the light opacity. That should work pretty well. Drop that in, very good. I'm just hacking at stuff, breaking things up. Just stippling the pigment on with the brush and stippling the pigment out with the eraser, but it's all just stippling, all the same. There. See how that fades in? That feels pretty good. Let's merge down. Pick and erase at that a little bit just to help keep the line clean. Too much. Like that. There we go. That feels good. That feels good. I like where that's at. Not amazing, but good enough. Now we will start integrating the foreground well. We'll leave this in front. This is here. Thinking these through. Just finding the proper position that I want for balancing the piece where the well should be, and that feels about right. Maybe let's do this. Cut, paste. Push you off screen a little bit. Right there. There, just to reduce those a little bit. And now we can take the well. And I think I like it there. Let's go with it here. So that's our shitty, weak little well. We're going to add in another layer on top of it, and we'll go well. Oh, well. Cool. And now we'll go over here. Here's our bloody well. Let's grab some stone texture here. Let's go with this as a base because I think that'll probably be a decent contrast. We'll switch to our square brush. Oof, man, I can feel that I don't stream for more than 2 hours typically because it's, what are we at? We're at 8 o'clock now. Oh god, we only started at 7, didn't we? Have I only been at this for an hour? Jeez, Kearney, your endurance is fatigued, dude. How about I take a drink of water to see if I can spark myself a little bit? I don't need to refill that. Chase it with some water. Very good. Very good, very good, very good. Very, 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 very good. Here, and go like that. Yeah, I was right about this. So let's block that all in. That'll feel good. And then we'll do the same block texture effect with this as we did up there, but it'll be different because it's foreground versus back. And that's a decent start. Now let's Okay, we have these two colors. Those will work together. Start off like this. This. And here. And here. That square brush, square eraser. I like this song a lot. Boom. Boom. Square that up. That feels pretty good. So far, so good. So what? Let's go on top here. First off, I think we can curve this corner down a bit. Keep that curved in like that. I normally don't get bing bings like this on the phone. What's going on with you? Boom. Yeah, okay. Looks like the world's... Yeah, everything's fine. Let's see. Let's... Here. Yeah, this is where we want to be at. Thank you. Go to here, to here. And then here. And then here. Here. That should work out. See if we can integrate this here. Put a break in there like that. That feels pretty good. Something like this. Yeah, basically like that. And we're gonna wrap this in a coil of rope anyway, so that doesn't really matter, but we do want to have its shape established. So this is coming along pretty nicely. Drop this down here like that a little bit. Like that. Then we'll transition that into shadow. Take this edge here. Erase that. Drop this edge in here like that. Erase this. Redo it. There we go. Yeah, like that. So we can drop in these lines, these highlights as lines. That'll be fine. This will end up being okay. I think we just got to give it a little bit more love and texture. We'll drop in some darkness to help break it up a little bit. But this is going to end up being okay. Something like that. Well, thank you, Timely Timer, for helping keep time. What is it? It's 8:15. We're doing fine. We're doing fine. Do I need 45 minutes to finish this well on the ground around it? Probably not. So everything should be okay. I do need to find a darker color, though. I like where this is going. Let's drop this a bit. Let's do that. Put it here. Base. Hoist. Hoist. Base. And then line art. So far, so good. So what, guys? There we go. I'll drop the hoist in. Although hoist should be underneath the base. There. There. Yes, there. That feels super good. Yeah, that's feeling pretty good. All right, let's keep at it. I feel like I want to fuck around with this for another hot second. There. Proper foreshortening. That feels pretty good. That feels pretty good. That should be good enough. It's a little off. Yeah, it actually should be like that. All right, we're not going to think about it too hard. We're coming along. So let's finish the base, and then we'll work on the hoist. The hoist will be our last problems. Let's take that base here like that. Over here. We can do the same brick trick. One, two, three, four. Raise that all up. Push that out a smidge. Here like that. We'll drop down the size of the brush a smidge. I'm saying smidge a lot. Look out, guys. Too much smidging. Not enough work, too much smidge. Oof, I don't like. See, this is what you call a tangent. When one element of a piece unnaturally aligns with the line or perspective of another piece, which means I need to either erase that foliage, raise up the well so it blocks that, or snudge the well over. And I think I'm going to opt for snudging the well over and dropping it a bit. Maybe I'll center it up a little bit more instead. Let's just fuck around and find out. Let's bring it forward a little bit. There, that'll do. That'll do, pig. There. Just a little bit off like that. That should work. There. Let's see. Okay. Right. Let's keep at it. Drop down the opacity on that brick. Let's keep. Let's layer it in over that. So we'll go like this, and then erase off the side here. And then we'll run along here. Slightly off is okay. Like that. Let's work this side before I start modifying stuff. Yeah, that'll work. And then, okay, so do I want to run... Kinda, yeah. Like that. Now we're going to take the same brush. We're going to thin it. So we can run along the bottom here. There. Like that. And then when we integrate it, we can start chopping away at the base so that we don't see where the bottom is at, so we don't have to worry about the ground because it's going to be covered with foliage. And I think that might be about where we're at. We want to break up these bricks. Something like that. Something like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. That-ish. Yeah, good enough. Foreshortening, I think, is working for us. Let's get rid of some of the more garish points here to help maintain the illusion of structure. It doesn't have to be, it just has to be good enough for your eye just to look at it and be like, okay, I get what you're trying to do there. That's all you're asking the eye to do. Just play along. So I merge these two together. And I start chopping at the bits here like we do. I'm going to just grab and pull at these in here just for some weathering effects. Just grabbing and pulling down at the lines that are established here, just to blur, like literally to blur those lines. Literally while we're doing it, that helps create an illusion of aging, which is what we want. Like that. There we go. Yeah, it's feeling pretty good. No complaint. So this smudging and eroding, this dragging smudge effect here to create this texture, it's similar to, but more defined than, it's like here we just erased at it, so it thinned down or left darker shadows for different portions here. Here we're leaving bolder lines to indicate more better shadow. I'm going to take a very light eraser here, like 10%, and trim away at some of these edges over here. But for the most part, that dragging weather texture adds a lot to... I can't do that because apparently I bonded it on the same layer like a goob. Of course I did. Of course I did. Why wouldn't I do that? All right, so this layer here is like completely unnecessary. This is all bound into the same layer. Fine. Let's take our eraser here. Let's grab some ground scrub brush. You know what? I can work that through. Hold on. Let's grab the base color here and layer that on top. That's how we can fatigue at these things and lighten them up. And then we can erase the overline. Like that. What a smart boy I am. And now we can take a light eraser and break at this a little bit to break up the lines. Oh yeah, I like that. That looks really, really good. Cool. Okay, so we'll just let that sit. And now we're going to merge this down and between the base, this is where ground scrub starts coming in. So we'll take the base here and we're going to make a new foliage brush and we're going to erase the base. We're going to grab the conifer foliage that we've been using previously. We're going to have let's say a 40% erase on it. Here that's too curled, so we're going to flatten out the curve. And then we're just going to tap erase here at the base a little bit. Just to sink it into the ground a little bit. And then we're going to put foliage in front of it to further push it into the environment. Push it down into the ground. So we already have our new layer established. We're going to use the same conifer brush that we're using right now for consistency and patterning. And here. And we probably want to use like a 30% strength right now. So we're just going to start putting out some foliage here. We use this to start, and then we're going to switch brushes to our grass blade brush, so we can start layering in like actual grass. I'm going to push this back here a little bit. We use the same 30% eraser, and then just tap away and erode that, so it bonds in a little bit better, and then erase here at the bottom so we don't see where the texture ends on the ground. We see where it rises up from the ground. So keep the top intact and erase the bottom so you can create layering. Again, a light eraser, like a 20% eraser, is going to help us erode that a little easier, a little more gently, so that we can layer things up proper. Here, we're going to pop up some of these things here like that to create some gristle. Again, we can then erase and push it down so that the texture still remains, but the color isn't overwhelming on the background. Add in some little stand-ups like this, and then we'll erase most of that so it just doesn't break consistency, but adds just a little break in texture and alignment. So come back in here and drop this stuff in here like that, to build up some color, and then we can erase it again for the lulls, mostly for the lulls. It's just adding grit and texture, just overall, which is useful. So that feels better. I'm going to drop that, and let's go grab our blade grass brush. Here it is, and we're going to grab a darker color. Like this. Come back here, buddy. There you are. We're going to flatten this brush out a little bit so it's very, 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 very flat. And we're going to start away from over here and just start dotting this stuff in. Again, we're texturing, we're layering different types of texture. See how this brush works here? It's very... And we can take the same brush as a smudge tool and grab and pull. See how that creates little blades of grass? Isn't that fun? Subtle, I mean, this is hardly an important detail, but it is what we're working on. It is the details we're at. So I'm just showing how this technique works. We're going to be seeing a lot of these similar techniques in the other Bob Ross paintings that we'll be doing later on this month, once this book is finished, next couple weeks. That we'll be using similar techniques throughout. Let's erase that a little bit. Just to have a little bit of fun. Before we start getting serious about the next books. Got to take that mental break, that little emotional vacation for ourselves to set down the past, to pick up the load again. Keep erasing like this to thin it down. Then we add in another layer. Actually, I think I want to break this and make like an actual new layer. So let's trim away at the base here a little bit to set ourselves up for another step forward. So now I can layer in this next layer here, and I can pull at the top of this for the blades of grass, and it won't fuck with the stuff behind it. Where are we at in time? Is it 9 o'clock yet? It's only 8:30. We're doing good. We're actually doing good. I think we're going to hit the mark. We'll probably finish by, well, I'll probably be content and turn down at 9:15. So probably have like another 40 minutes. And I'll probably be content enough with this piece to let it go, hit save, and then go do some laundry. And then we'll come back later. Later today, we'll come back and continue building with martial powers. I am looking forward to this Saturday playtesting. We've been playing Strixhaven's Mage Tower as a 5e combat sport, using our 5e action economy to grab and run with a ball and try to score points on hitting a goalpost, while enemies are trying to fireball and paralyze and wall of stone and all that other cool stuff. We're playing 8th level characters now. So every week we ratchet up the level by 1. We're 8th level right now, so it'll be like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So if we do 1 level per week, we'll be doing this for another 13 weeks, which is 3 months, which would take us into May. But my intention is by like late March. Sometime in March to fire up the Spelljammer campaign. So, like, if we do level 8, then 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. That'd be another 6 weeks with 2 level jumps. 6 weeks, that'll take us to the end of March. Yeah, so that'll work out. So I think we're already planning on building 8th level characters this week, but I think next week we'll start hopping 2 levels. So we'll go from 8th to 10th to 12th to 14th to 16th to 18th to 20th. And by then, we'll have had plenty of opportunity for us to build a team and have people fucking around with the sport system to see if it's fun. If you like combat, if you like tactical stuff, it's actually a ton of fun. If you don't like tactical combat or tactical problem solving, you're not going to enjoy it. But that's okay. Not everyone enjoys all the gears of D&D. D&D has a lot of different gears, and it's okay to not like some and to like others. But if you are a combat enthusiast and you enjoy tactical puzzles, Mage Tower, basically 5e D&D rugby, super fun. I am very, very proud of what we've been building with that. Doing a little bit of patching here. No, not like that. Let's go behind the base and layer in some grass back here. There, like that. All that shit's looking pretty good. Let's drop the opacity down just a little bit. That feels right. Hey, what's up? Hey, Steve, it's good to see you, my man. Let's take these back to full, and then merge them together, and then back them down just a touch. We're gonna put some blood and stuff along the ground here, so it's gonna get a little tarnished. But for the most part, I'm pretty happy with that ground grit as it sits. Not bad. There is a distinct lack of contrast going on over here right now. And I'm not sure how concerned I should be about that. I think this is all a single layer here. So what we're going to need to do is the hoist. Excuse me. Merge that down. So that looks good here now. Yeah, I'm a little disturbed by the lack of contrast, but just a little bit. Let's see about let's see about layering in some shadow around you. Let's do a little bit of that. But we'll have this piece done. Yeah, probably about 20-30 minutes. That feels about right. A little bit of depth in here like that. Here we go. Break that up a little bit. There we go. Not bad. Okay, so here, this is the hoist. This is what we want to work on next. So let's add another layer here and go to the hoist. Here's our rope. Let's switch to a round brush before we get ourselves in trouble. Very dark and much lighter. Okay, so let's go with that. This is just a rope we're winding around here, so hopefully this isn't gonna... Well, it should be 100%. There, and then over that we're going to paint the lighter color. There, like that. And then the top here, let's hit it with a light eraser so we can trim it up a little bit. There, not so bad. We can grab the base color here. I like that. And now we want to find a darker color for the wood on the hoist. So something like... something like that. Let's see if that works. I'll merge those down. Hoist colors. Go to here. Basically just creating color noise right now on the piece, if that makes any sense. We're just adding on the cylinder sort of look here, where we're adding cast shadow and darkening down here, and then pushing upward just to create some variety. And then up here, we're pushing down to create some contrast here. And then contrast inside here. We'll work from down here and push up. And here and push down. And then we'll just layer in underneath here. Since this is underneath all of that, but it's got a partial transparency, this helps add more shadow depth here for the curvature of the trundle. I don't know if that's the right word. Let's merge these down so we can square this off up here. Doesn't have to be amazing, just has to be good enough. Does not have to be amazing, but it does have to have contrast. So let's grab another darkish color again here to help further define the outline of this. This is coming along nicely. Let's layer on top of that. Here, thin that down here like that, and then here we'll have a contrast break more with the background. We'll just blend that up into the affair. Like that. And then we'll take this. We'll drag that out here to fill out its bit. That's too wide. Okay, thank you. We'll push this one back in. We can merge that down so we can trim it up. Like that. Then push that line up in there a little bit. Here as well, we want more contrast, so we'll push that down here like that. Scooch that in just a smidge. Smidge that one a little bit more. Thank you. Here like that. So right now I'm basically just layering in highlights and shadows and lines with each other to help break up the silhouette of the shape from the forest behind it. By stacking contrast like this, I can generally make the shape of the thing pop out. Excuse me. Keep thinning that down. Still want to add contrast here. Let's do that. For whatever reason, I want to do this. I'm mouth breathing. Be careful, guys. I've got the dumbs in my head. Mouth breather. God damn, I can't stop mouth breathing. My nose must be stuffed up. There. Oh, yeah, that's starting to look really, really good. Yeah, my nose is definitely clogged. I don't feel so bad about mouth breathing if I have a clogged nostril. It's like I don't have. That's less indication of having the derps and just being sick. I am getting over pneumonia, so I'm going to give myself that grace. There we are. I can justify that away. I feel smart now. Not a fan of mouth breathing. just about good enough. Just going to tug on these ropes a little bit here for a few minutes. And I'm pretty happy with it. I'm pretty happy with this. It's good enough. But now I want to add the bloodworks on the ground. There's spilled blood all around this well on the map. So I want to do splashes of blood on the ground as well in this piece to help, reinforce. I'm doing these little vignette pieces, and for the most part, doing little environment things, so that as the DM is reading information about these different rooms and areas and environments and locations, so that if I have ongoing image references, they can start creating their own description of like how do they want to describe the room. We provide descriptions for stuff, but I think the visual information is going to provide a lot more inspiration for DMs to be able to describe in detail what's going on in this place. Let's add in some dark here like that. I'm just going to smudge this around a little bit just to break up the shapes, to give it more of a yarnish feeling. There we go. That's good enough. And now we can stow the hoist. We have the base. We have the ground around the base. And now on top of the ground, we'll do the blood work. There's our blood. 8:50. We have 10 minutes to do some blood work. Let's do some blood work. What kind of a brush do I want to use for this? Probably just basic ground for now, and we'll figure out where we're at. So I'm just gonna start just dumping some of this in here and grabbing our smudge round, our smudge brush here with like a 30, maybe like a 50% to push this stuff out a little bit. I'm going to do like some blood splattered here on the... Some blood splatter here. Let's get rid of that ground stuff and just focus on the structure. Good enough. And then I think there's some around the side as well, right? Yeah. I don't know why somebody would choose the water well to be their last stand, but apparently some people did, and it didn't turn out well. They zombified or ghouled and then ran off and ate horses and shit like that. So, timely timer. There we go. And Bloodstains 2. Just gonna carpet in some stuff here, I think, and then we'll chop it out. We'll basically use the same texturing that we use with the grass to give it the same texture, so it looks like colored grass. Essentially, what we're trying to do here. So let's expand this a little bit. Actually, let's not. Let's leave it tight like this, and then let's go grab that eye brush for the grass. Pull at that and have bloody grass. See how that works. Gonna soften and expand that out. There, I will do another layer in front of it. A little bit darker. Pull on it a little bit like that. There. Blood that up a little bit just to get that line between the ground and the... Nah, not over there. Over here. Just keep it over here. And it needs to be more blotchy, so I have to erase some of this. I'm pretty happy with that overall. Excuse me. So let's merge that down with this, and then we'll come on through with the brush that we've been using. We're going to use a different brush. I think we use the foliage brush instead of the ground brush. There, we're going to go with a very light eraser, so we can come through here and just start hemming this up a little bit. Create some bare patches. Yeah. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe some blood like up around in here. Zero. Get out of here. Eraser. Go into the round brush. Smudge. Yeah, I think I like that. Switch back to... let's go to our grass brush. a bit. Give it a decent erase, like 60%. It'll cause some chop. Come on through here. Just break shit up a little bit. There. Hoist. Well is done. Can we push back? There. There we go. It's not amazing, but it's good enough. This is a little corner piece, whatever. I think it's looking okay. Yeah, there. That feels about right. Good enough. So we'll go ahead and leave that be. We'll call it done. Not the best art that we've ever done, but none of these are. They're just little corner pieces. That finishes off the set here. So that helps add a little, like it helps, it just fleshes out the thing. It looks a little less hollow. Like a big empty space like this just looks garish. Like there, that's empty. Like that just looks, it could be okay, but this actually makes it feel like some more attention has been paid to it. So that's all we're looking for, little bits like this. So I'm content with it. I'm gonna go ahead and save here. We can scratch this one off the list. This leaves us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So let's roll. Let's roll to see what the next pieces that we're gonna do. There's 14, so I actually need 2 to 15 or 3 to 16 and minus 2, like 2 to 1 to 15, 2 to 15 minus 1 gives us a range of 1 to 14. So how can I get a range of 2 to 15? That's an odd number. It's not going to happen. It's going to have to work off of evens. So we'll have to go 3 to 16 minus 2. How can I get 3 dice to equal 16? D6, D6, D4 minus 2. So 2d6 plus d4 minus 2 gives us a range of 1 to 14. 2d4 plus 2d6 plus d4 equals a maximum of 16, and 3 dice is a minimum of 3, so that's a 3 of 16 minus 2 is a range of 1 to 14. So I roll my dice. I get a 3 on the d4. 4 minus 2 is 2, plus 4 is a 6. So my end result was 6, so let's count down from the top to 6. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 53. Page 53 is the next page that we're going to work on. So we've finished this stack here. Hit save and drop that out of the way. File. Let's go to see, what is it, page 53? That looks like it's here. And page 53 will be this. Cool. This is the page that we're going to work on next. We have some blank space in here and here. The idea is this is a tower. So this is here's an elevator shaft. Here is a spiral staircase that wraps around it. So here's the base. Here's the actual base that we're looking at here, and it curls around. And then it continues curling from here to here and curls around. And then this is the top side. This is the gatehouse exit. So that is what we are currently in the process of depicting here. And I'm thinking if I were to reduce the size of these a little bit, and then shift this one underneath so it's linear. So both of these steps are, or like maybe scoot this one over here so these things are aligned over each other, and then that would leave this vertical portion over here open that like maybe we can like actually show like a side diagram of its of its winding upward to the surface. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But this is the space that we have to play with. I don't like how this is sitting. I know I want to rearrange that. So when we come back tomorrow morning, we're going to mess around with these two map pieces and then see where that takes us. So it'll either work or it won't. I don't know what the right answer is right now, but this is something I wanted to come and look at. So this is what we'll play with tomorrow morning. So that's it. That's where we're at for today. I'm going to go ahead and step out of here. I have more work to do over here. I'm going to be back on. It's 9 o'clock now. I think I'll be back on. Let's be back on. Yeah, let's be back on at let's say 10:30. That'll give me like an hour and a half, somewhere between 10:30 and 11 o'clock here in Seattle. That'll be anywhere from like an hour and a half to 2 hours from now. I'll jump back on. We're going to continue working on the Unearthed Arcana Mystic subclasses, converting the Paladin, Rogue, and Warlock into the color mana paradigm that we have for the color magic spell point variant rules, and the martial power system that we've been developing as a mana system for martials. So, yeah, that's it for now. I'll catch you guys on the other side. Thanks a lot. And then tonight, later on tonight, in about probably like 9.5 hours, 10 hours from now, we'll be on to play with, to continue building asteroid communities for our Eberron Spelljammer Orbital Moon campaign. So, all right, that's it. I'm out of here for now, guys. Thanks a lot for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. Like, subscribe, bell icon. I do this, like, artwork like this Monday through Friday, and then Monday and Thursday night, and Saturday morning we do game design. So if you think this stuff is cool, thanks. Stick around. See you on the other side.